Yeah, it does start in a week.
Yeah.
Time flies.
I know. You still got to come out to that. We do the show at Grand Prix, New York, over in Mount Kisco, New York. Every other Wednesday night is the game plan as of right now. But, BC's schedule gets crazy. My schedule gets crazy. The only schedule that doesn't seem to get crazy is that of Mark Jeffers. The true, I'm the third wheel by a far sight. It's Brian and Mark. It's their gig. I just keep them company.
Nice.
And I keep them on the air. So we'll get into talking to John Marinelli in a couple of minutes, but here we are. It's Tuesday. You're 48 hours away from a little more than 48 hours away from the Rangers getting started in the playoffs. I mean, it's kind of not a sleepy Tuesday. There are plenty of things going on, and we'll get into the local schedule as soon as we can. We'll have a little time to vamp on that stuff later in the show, but it is kind of students are off this week in chunks of the area. I know, around certainly the western part of the state, and I think your kids are off as well, correct?
Yes, my kids are off this week, so Fairfield schools are off.
And they are inquiring about curiosity over things like baseball and so on.
Oh, dear. Hey, they played their first game. They played their first T-ball game, which is kind of fun.
That's great. Yeah. I know. You sent me some pictures. That was great.
That was cute. Bunch of kids didn't even know how to put the helmets on. Putting the helmets on that are about 10 sizes too big backwards and everything. I'm the third base coach. I'm like, okay, now guys, just a reminder. When the ball is hit at third, because you're only allowed one, you're allowed one base only. Mm. Everybody hits the whole 9 yards. There's no.
Yeah, that's what we did.
So I go to one of the kids or a bunch of the kids. Okay, so you're a third. When the ball is hit, where do you go? Let's see. We got first base, ice cream truck. We got the park, the swings that were next to the place. We got bench, and then we got center field. Two of the kids got it right.
Well, I mean,
step in the right direction.
And coaching is indeed extra special, isn't it?
Oh, yes, especially when you're the assistant coach.
I was either co-coach or head coach the whole time I did it. It was fun, though. I had a good time. I miss doing it.
I promised my boys that I would coach soccer, which I've done numerous times now, but they got to learn that there's other people other than Daddy that are coaches.
Yeah.
So I told them I'm not going to be coaching baseball, and if they need me for any assistant, I'd be more than glad to help out. And pretty much the second I said that, I am now assistant coach.
In all seriousness, what if they said, all right, well, if you're not going to coach, we won't play?
The kids?
Yeah.
Well, they don't get what they want all the time.
No, I understand that. What I'm getting at is Sean basically kept playing because I was his coach. And more or less, he would have stopped playing if I wasn't his coach. His passion was not for Sean. His passion was not to do this. He hung on and did it for 5 years because it was almost this great father-son thing between the two of us,
Sure. No, they had the kids enjoyed themselves, and they know that. I told them I have no problem doing soccer. They understand that, and it's kind of one of those things where they have no problem with me being assistant coach because I'm still there. I'm on the team, and let's face it, even if I wasn't a coach or anything, I'd still try to get there as much as humanly possible to talk to to be watching the games. So, they're happy with it. So, life is good.
I had a great time doing it.
It's a blast when I did it. A lot of fun.
No, it was fun. It really was fun. But speaking of fathers and sons, boy, there's a transition for you right there.
Nice job.
Thank you. See, this is professional work here.
Go take the rest of the day off. You're good.
You can handle the interviews from here on out. You've got it. No, we had him on yesterday. We had Lou Marinelli on yesterday, of course, the head football coach in New Canaan. Chatted with him for quite a while about a bunch of things. Great to talk to him yesterday. We had him on in person, in fact, at Mead Park, and we promised we would have the head football coach at Greenwich High School on yesterday. We weren't able to pull it off, but we've got him today. And the head football coach at Greenwich High is John Marinelli. John, how you doing?
Doing well. Thanks for having me.
Hey, it's our pleasure. Congratulations, first of all.
Thank you. I'm excited.
Well, we're excited for you, and certainly we're excited for Greenwich High School because Paul and I have both covered that team so much over the years, and we've both seen a lot. We both know Rich Albanizio really well, so obviously you're climbing into some big shoes to fill, but what a great situation for you. You did such a great job in New Canaan. Tell us about your excitement and what you're feeling as you're getting ready to get started with this football team.
Well, you mentioned Richie Albanizio. He's Uncle Richie to me. And when I was growing up, it was Marcy Petrosio, Lou Marinelli, and Richie Albanizio. And as a young football player in the state of Connecticut, doesn't matter where you played, you knew who those three names were. So to step in for Coach Albanizio is an honor. I'm very humbled. But those are a lot bigger than the shoe size I wear. So, I'm honored and I feel very blessed, and I'm excited to get started. It's obviously a football town. They have such great, rich tradition and history, and it's something that I want to get acclimated to and learn about and adapt to the Greenwich lifestyle from the football program. So, I'm really excited. I'm 29 years old, and I landed Greenwich High School. I have to pinch myself sometimes. So it's amazing. It really is.
And what was it like for you when you met your team for the first time?
That day was a lot to handle one day. It was good. I think more for them, it was more just direction. Finally, they had a vacancy for 2 or 3 months, and what the off season was like, and you have some coaches that are trying to glue it together and everything. So it was great to see smiles on their face and maybe kind of like a relief, like okay, there's someone here now. But for me, it was rejuvenating. It was exciting, and I don't remember any of their names, but they're on vacation this week. So, but and I met with the captains before the team meeting, and what a great group of kids. And I'm just excited to build new relationships and and really work with young people in a different community.
We had your dad on yesterday. He told us all about, the process that you went through and how much he, consulted you on it all. Tell me about the role from your perspective that your dad played in all of this.
Well, he's, who has it better than I do? I have, I grew up in the house of the best role model in the state of Connecticut and maybe New England and perhaps the nation. He's such an advocate for football. He truly, and this is what people don't understand, right? I mean, you play, you're in New Canaan, Darien, Greenwich, Wilton, Ridgefield. He doesn't care about, only New Canaan football. He cares about the state of football in the state. He cares about the state of football in New England, the tri-state, and also the nation. So he's, from his perspective, him looking at it, me asking him about just the Greenwich job and what I should do and everything else. And he obviously, as a father, looks out and like, what a great opportunity it is. But as someone that is, a disciple of him, to take over a program like that, and to further the sport beyond Greenwich and beyond New Canaan, I think it's a no-brainer. And I'm going to do what's right for the sport and what's right for kids, as all coaches should do. And I think, maybe, I don't want to go out on a limb, but I think that gets lost a little bit nowadays. What's right for the kid and what's right for the sport and what's right for just athletics in general. So it's, I'm going to do everything in my power to maintain, just the discipline and the integrity of the sport and being in charge of football in Greenwich.
What style of football are you going to be bringing to the Cardinals for next fall?
The type where you might not be sitting down too often. I like to. Everyone's like, "Oh, you have the most innovative offense." Blah, blah. I don't know what that means. I coach football the way I know it to be played. I don't think that what I do is anything more special than anybody else. If you believe in something, then you hang your hat on it, and then that's what you do. And you're gonna go out every single week doing what you do and knowing what you know. And the best thing you can do is get your kids ready and prepared, not only for the game, not only for practice, not only for the season, but for life. So I like to bring the philosophy of my kids are going to be on the edge of their seat, and the fans are going to be on the edge of their seat, and I think it'll be exciting, and I think it's not a different brand of football. They run the spread, but I just think it's a different philosophy of offense and defense and special teams, and something that we've been doing at New Canaan for the last couple of years that have really sparked town, the town, the community to say, hey, it's not just a football game. I mean, this is a show. I mean, this is great. The kids are having fun, the fans are having fun, everyone around it's having fun, and that's what I think. I want to be able to bring to Greenwich is just that word fun. Bring fun back to the game. You have 150 plus kids in a program that are all playing it not because they think they're going to play it in the NFL, but because they love the game. And I've got to bring that love back. I've got to bring the fun back, and I'm up for the challenge.
Part of what makes Greenwich so great is the feeder system, and they have a wonderful thing in the GYFL. How heavily will you be involved? What kind of relationship will you have with the GYFL?
As big of a relationship as they will allow me to. My philosophy with youth program, just as it was in New Canaan, I sat on the youth board, and it was just I sit, I observe, and if I'm asked a question, I'll answer it to the best of my ability. But we run youth clinics in New Canaan. And I want to do that with Greenwich. So those are all things that I want to bring because everybody has their own philosophy. I don't want to have 9 clones of Greenwich high school football on the youth level. I mean, that would be, the kids need to experience different coaches. They need different experiences. They need to know what it's like to be the star player. They need to know what it's like to be a role player. And so when you get to my level, it's just adaptability, right? So my involvement is to help them. If it's don't fix anything that isn't broke, right? I mean, we're not talking about a broken program here. It's a consistently winning program that consistently develops very good athletes, very good players, and a strong bond in the community. So I'm not trying to go in and bulldoze the whole thing down with a wrecking ball or anything like that. It's my job to make sure that those guys know that my phone is on 24/7. My email is always open. If they have a question, I'm going to do my best to answer it, and to help be an advocate of the sport at the youth level, I think is the only thing that I can really do. But there's a lot of smart people in Greenwich, and they've been doing this for a very long time, and it shows with the amount of success that they've had.
And Coach, how do you plan on handling the pressure that comes along with this kind of job? Because obviously you're going into one of the premier programs in the state where sometimes, and I've worked in that town for 8 years, and like a 7-3 record is kind of a kind of year. How do you plan on handling the pressure for what everybody kind of all eyes on you kind of thing?
Yeah, I mean, New Canaan, we haven't had more than 4 losses since 2005.
Right.
So losing is not something that I'm used to. Losing is not something that I enjoy. I think you learn from losses more than wins, and I cherish those teaching moments. From a community perspective or the pressure, I don't really think about it that way. Coaches typically coach because they're very competitive people, and then they want to, teach the younger generations, and that's kind of the philosophy that I'm going into it. I hope we never lose, but that's just not reality, right? You're going to have losses, and we have Darien, New Canaan, and Greenwich or Staples on the schedule this year. So those are 3 programs that have been doing this for a very long time, that have long-standing coaches and a system in place. So the pressure is something that I haven't really thought about because I've always been in that situation. The pressure being just a coordinator at New Canaan is high. The pressure of being a head coach at New Canaan is high, and not just in football, but I think in any sport, in any of these surrounding towns where athletics is held in such a high regard as it should be. So I don't really think of it from a pressure standpoint. I'm there to help mold kids and to help them be as successful as they possibly can be. And if we lose some games, then there's no better opportunity to teach and coach off of those moments. That's always been my philosophy.
And, of course, the inevitable question has come along about October because you do have a game, as you said, up against New Canaan. And, oh, my gosh, you talk about a bonanza, John. I can only imagine what that game's going to be like.
Yeah, I think if you're a high school football fan, it's not just New Canaan, Greenwich. We have ties, family ties in Westchester. My dad's got coaching ties in Westchester, and everywhere. So I would imagine that's going to be a game that's under the magnifying glass. But I'm excited. It's going to be different because it's a very difficult decision for me personally. It was very difficult to say bye to a town that I gave 28 years to. I grew up on the sideline. I was Chris Silvestri, who was defensive coordinator, was my idol growing up. I wore his number in college. I wore his number in high school. And not a lot of people have an opportunity to work with their father and idol in close quarters, for 4 straight months every year. So that's obviously very special. And coaching there, playing there, I mean, there's the ties run deep. And I'm from there. I went, all my best friends are from there, and so on and so forth. So that game will be emotional for me, as I'm sure it will a lot of other people. But this is the way I look at it. They're New Canaan. The pressure is on them because Greenwich, with a new head coach coming in and building a philosophy, I mean, they're kind of expected, they're New Canaan. And I can say that because, I coached there. So I think the pressure, and no father wants to lose to their son. Whether you're playing basketball when you just realize that your son just got a little taller than you, and all of a sudden he can do a couple different things in the backyard, and you're like, oh man, I'm not letting him win anymore. He's just beating me. So, I would look at it from that perspective. I think we're just going to go out and play our game and leave the emotions hopefully on the sideline. And I don't know if that'll be the case, but we're going to try our best, and I'm going to surround myself with the staff that keeps me in check and helps me along the way. And I'm excited about some of the possibilities there. So I'm going to lean on them a lot that week, and we'll see what happens. It's going to be exciting for high school football. If you're a fan, there's no better game in the Tri-State or New England to go see than that one because it's going to be highly competitive. I know what they do, and they're going to know what I do, and it's going to be a lot like a New Canaan Darien game, I think. We play those guys 4 times the last 2 years. So, you'll see a lot. You'll see good football. You'll see well-coached football, and you'll probably see a lot of emotions.
And for your team, for you actually, just speak of the way you were thinking when you were trying to decide, and what were some of the deciding factors into leaving a program that like you said, you grew up with, and the program that you have been on the sidelines for forever? What was some of the things that made you change and say, now's the time?
I had taken some interviews at some other places in previous years, and I had a couple opportunities, this year, at different levels. And for me, I walked into the Greenwich thing as a possibility because it's Greenwich, and if you're ever going to leave New Canaan, it's Greenwich, right? So I went through the interview process, and it was lukewarm at first, and I was excited about the possibility. And then as it goes on, it becomes more real. And then so when I got it, I was like, oh, all right, what's going to happen now? Who's going to do this at New Canaan? Who's going to do that? And so I started drawing on some of the things that I've done, because when people leave jobs, most of the time they leave things behind that they don't care about. If you're going from job to job and you don't have ties to that company except for the income that you had and the benefits that you had, you don't really care as long as you get the same benefits and everything else. But this is the family business I was leaving. This is something that I've been so accustomed to, and like I said, I've invested 28 years of my life into being the number 3 biggest fan behind my mother and grandmother. So ultimately, what tipped me was as a competitor and as a role model for young adults to step out of my comfort zone, to take on a new challenge, and whether I succeed or fail, to know that I'm going to put everything I have, all my being into this thing, and make sure that I'm going to be as successful as I possibly can. I don't think there's a better teaching moment for young people than the decision that I made. And it's hard, very emotional. Not everybody gets to work with their father and idol every day. It's emotional just talking about it right now. So that's really what I decided is if I'm going to be the person that I want to be, and if I want to be the role model that I want to be, and I want to get people to stand behind me, then look at the decision I made to leave everything that I've ever known, and to start a program, not from scratch, but to start my program my own, and put my own ideals and philosophies in there. I thought that was more honorable than anything else. So that was a tipping point for me.
Have you thought, I'm sure you have you thought about the guys you're going to surround yourself with in Greenwich?
Yeah, I have. A lot of the guys are there. I believe that there's a certain level of continuity that's great in high school football. And if I had stayed at New Canaan, we would have had the same offensive staff for going on 4 years, which not really normal in high school. You know, you have guys coming in and out who can do it, who can't. You know, what's going on outside of football, you know, with your personal life. So we would have had the same staff. So I want to surround myself with guys who want to be there, who want to be head coaches, who have a burning desire to work with kids, and who are great role models. And I have a couple guys that are in line and you know, that are interested, and we're going to sit down and talk with them. And when you make decisions like this, it's so much not about football but about life. It's so much about what they want to be able to do and what they want to be able to bring to the lives of young adults, and so on and so forth. I can tell you my staff will be involved with the youth program as much as the youth program will allow. So, you know, we're building something there. So you're not only working with 9th through 12th graders, but you're working with, you know, 3rd through 12th graders. So they have to be invested into the sport. They have to be advocates for the sport, and they have to want to be able to, you know, to teach, because, you know, I truly believe that this is an extension of the classroom. And, you know, some of the skills and life lessons that the kids will learn, they can't learn in a math or science class, you know. So it's important that I have great teachers. It's important that I have great role models. So those are some of the characteristics that I'm looking for, a lot like what New Canaan has. And New Canaan's got like 5 head coaches on that staff that can go out right now and be doing what I'm doing. And it's because, you know, it comes from the top. And, you know, Lou is my dad is you know, incredible. You know, a lot, you guys know him from a media standpoint. I know him from being a father,
Right.
a grandfather, you know, a coach, a mentor, a teacher. You know, I know him, and he has the unique ability to, it's like a light switch. He has the unique ability to turn on coach and then to turn on dad and then to turn on grandfather. You know, so I've, you know, Marcy Petraccio, I saw his quote, "I've been groomed for this," but not for football. I've been groomed for it because of the man that's I've had the opportunity to, you know, grow up in front of and lead me. So I'm forever grateful. And by the way, my mom's not lost in this. So it's my mom is, you know, it's such a huge part of my life and very family oriented. So that's what's going to make that October day probably a little more difficult. But the same ideals that I was brought up on are the same ones that I want to bring to Greenwich, a family atmosphere.
And you've got great guys that are already there, as you already alluded to, guys that we got to know over the years. So I'm sure, as you said, some of them may begin to play into that. And it's a really exciting time for Greenwich, John. And you know, we followed, Paul and I, as I said, Paul covering it as a writer, me covering it as I was the radio broadcaster for 14 years. So I saw that team inside and out. So it's exciting. I know we're both happy for you and
Absolutely.
really excited to see what this is. And we'll get some games on, Greenwich games on here as well, because we're excited to see where the program goes.
You're going to get one in October, I'd imagine.
I'd say we've already set that one in stone. You're right. And we hope.
And thank you guys for all that you do. And a lot of you guys do so much for local sports, and not, you know, just what you guys do to raise awareness and to bring back, you know, fans and enthusiasm to all sports in the local area. You guys don't get enough credit. So thank you for all you do.
Thanks, John. We
Thank
appreciate that. And by all means, let's talk again soon.
Absolutely. Thanks so much. Appreciate it, guys.
All right, John. Take
care, John.
All right.
Bye-bye.
That is the head coach of the Greenwich Cardinals, John Marinelli. Try that on for size. I mean, it's a lot to think about.
Well, he is coming into a program that is, we're talking, you know, one of the, if not the premier programs in the state.
And look, I could have stayed with him for a lot longer. There are so many things because, again, you and I have this knowledge of this team, you know? I sat in those coaches' breakfasts on Saturday mornings for a whole year. You know, I got to know that staff. I got to know that team, as did you.
It'll be very interesting to see how they how their style is going to change from last year to this year. I
totally agree. I totally agree. Plus, you're going into a year where, to me, I don't know if questions. I don't know this team coming into this year, especially with the loss of Austin Longy, and one player does not make or break a team, but that's a big loss to a football team.
He might not make or break a team, but he surely helps, that's for sure.
No, he was a phenomenal freak of a football player and a good kid, too.
Sure.
And there are a lot of good kids on that team, and that rolls back up, not only to their parents, of course, but that does roll back up to Richie Albanizio. And I get it. I heard the criticisms of Richie over the years. I heard the criticisms of a lot of these coaches over the years. Who knows what's real and what's not real, you know? And as you said, 7-3 in Greenwich is not acceptable. It's
no,
not.
You come to expect bigger things from the Greenwich High program than a 7-3 record. You expect that 9-1. You expect the 8-2. You kind of expect to be at the FCX championship. You expect to be in the state tournament, and when you're not, it's kind of a surprise, and that might not be fair because there are coaches up and down the FCX, SWC, CCC, anywhere, NVL. There are millions of coaches that would take a 7-3 any day of the week. If you went to them at the beginning of the season and said, "Hey, coach, we're going to guarantee that you're going to be 7-3 this year," do you know how many people would say, "Yes, please"?
Sure. But in Greenwich, where
That's
there
not
is a
good enough.
legacy, and the same would go on with Lou. The same would go on in New Canaan.
Well, the same thing.
Same would go on with Mars. Mars had a rough year this year, and they weren't that bad.
They weren't that bad to him. I was very surprised. In a good
well,
way.
no. The town. What I'm saying is the football team was not that bad. It wasn't a great team. We saw them get absolutely hammered by New Canaan, but
And then I saw them absolutely hammer Greenwich.
there's my point. Anyway, we should take a break. When we come back, we will return with the head baseball coach at Brian McMahon High School. John Cross joins us right after this as we roll on a Monday edition. Sorry, did I say Monday? On a Tuesday edition of Nutmeg Sports on HANradio.com and the Hersam Acorn Network. We're back right after this.
Want a new experience in car buying? Scap Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram with one of the largest inventories of new 2- and 4-door Wranglers. We are Connecticut's Wrangler headquarters. Come visit our new Ram Truck Center. Browse our websites, scapchryslerjeep.com or scapdodge.net to find the new Jeep, Chrysler Dodge car, minivan, or Ram truck you've been looking for. Just 2 miles from both I-95 or the Merritt Parkway exit 44. Save thousands at the award season event, now through April 30th. Want a new experience in car buying? Scap Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram with one of the largest inventories of new 2- and 4-door Wranglers. We are Connecticut's Wrangler headquarters. Come visit.
Breaks, sprains, injuries, and pain can now be quickly and expertly treated at Coastal Ortho Express in Norwalk. Why wait hours in the ER? Save a trip and save money going straight to an orthopedic specialist at Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care, 203-845-2070. No appointment necessary. Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care, open Monday through Saturday in the iPark building at 761 Main Avenue in Norwalk, or call 203-845-2070. Fast!
Healthy, confident smiles begin at Stratford Orthodontics. Conveniently located on Main Street, we are Stratford's hometown orthodontist. We offer the latest in orthodontic technology, including Damon braces and Invisalign. We always accept new patients. Call today to schedule a complimentary consultation. 203-375-8332. Stratford Orthodontics, 2499 Main Street, Stratford. 203-375-8332. And online at stratfordsmile.com.
Alliance. We are an industry leader in coordinating transportation for large events such as corporate road shows, conferences, and special events. Our team of experts understands the dynamics and logistics of high-pressure situations and complex arrangements, all within a rapidly changing environment. Since 1999, we have added charter jets, event management, and personal protection to our range of services. Mention this ad for $25 off your next round-trip reservation. Alliance and you. Together, we can achieve the extraordinary. 855-546-6996 or alliancelimo.com.
You're listening to Hersam Acorn Radio.
Back with you on Nutmeg Sports. It's 2:31 Tuesday afternoon. I don't know what I was thinking. It happens.
That happens.
Whatever. All right. I'm Rob Adams. That's Paul Silverfarb over there.
Good morning.
Good morning. All right. Let's bring on the head baseball coach at Brian McMahon High School. John Cross is on the line. Coach, Rob and Paul, how are you?
Good afternoon. Good morning.
It's all the same, right, Coach?
Yes, you guys are having a fun time over there. That's great.
Absolutely having a great time. And for about 6 innings, your team had a fun time yesterday, and then things kind of went south in the 6th inning. But nice-looking baseball team you have, and it was fun watching you guys yesterday.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, we ran up against a really great athlete. I know you guys were talking about football earlier, but Lapolice really did a great job of pitching and then just fielding his position. I think he was involved in one inning on all 3 plays in the field, and it's just hats off to him. He's a really great athlete. And our pitcher, Paul, did a nice job after giving up 2 in the first inning, settled down a little bit, but it's early in the year, and we couldn't really take a chance of extending him any longer. He was kind of tiring a little bit. We didn't hit the ball too well, though. We just have to shore that up, definitely.
Which makes me go to the next question. Is he your starting pitcher when you hit Cooperstown on Sunday?
Yeah, right now it looks like it. We are facing Norwalk. He threw on Monday, so he'll have a full day's of rest. We got 4 games this week, so it looks like he probably more than likely will be starting on the mound there, which would be nice. Hopefully it gives him a little added juice.
And Coach, for this team, how much fun is it to do this kind of trip where you guys are going down to Cooperstown, get the whole baseball experience, the whole Hall of Fame experience, and then get to play at the legendary Doubleday Field?
It's great. I try to do it every 3 years. This is our 4th trip. We've done it with, last time we did it with Ward, we did it with Danbury, and our first time we went against Bridgeport Central. And I just want to, give the kids a little something extra. Baseball, everyone thinks it's about the wins, but it's about the experience and having them be able to walk away from the program saying they did something that, other players around them didn't, I think is special. And they'll definitely be able to see all the greats that played before them and see the things that they did to change society, whether it was, Jackie Robinson or the ladies that played while the men were all fighting in the war. And then just see some of the legends that they've heard about from their grandfathers and their fathers. So it should be a really, really good experience for them.
We're looking forward to being there as well, and we'll be up there to broadcast the game, so we're excited, of course. And it's just the greatest town. I mean, if you're a fan of this game, you have to go to Cooperstown. So for us, it's going to be a phenomenal day, and I'm sure, and a phenomenal weekend, and I'm sure for your guys as well, it will just be a tremendous experience and the opportunity to play on a field that has a certain historic value to it.
Absolutely. It reminds me a little bit of Ridley Park. Wrigley Field, I should say, before they put up the Diamond Vision, I believe this summer. I went there a couple of years ago. It just has that really old baseball feel, and it's nice because, the legends of the game actually played on that. And recently, Major League Baseball stopped playing their annual game there. It's great. It's going to be extra special, too, because we're playing our crosstown rival, Norwalk High there.
I was just actually, you took the words out of my mouth there, Coach. How much fun for you guys is it going to be to not only play at this field, but you guys are playing against one of your biggest rivals, if not the biggest rival, in your crosstown rival, Norwalk?
Yeah, it should make it even more special. I think the town of Norwalk will probably pay attention to it a lot more since we're going up. I know the Norwalk Hour is going to cover it. Last year, Norwalk High and us, we played at Harbor Yard. We had a doubleheader between the JV and the varsity teams, and that was really, really special. We got a lot of great outpouring of fans, but also we had a lot of support from the community helping us fundraise for that particular event. And then after talking to Coach Tucci, I kind of just asked him over the winter, hey, you know what, you want to try to play in Cooperstown? And he said, sure, why not? And it's great working with Coach. He was one of my former coaches when I played Legion baseball in town. And we have a great working relationship, and it's good for the town of Norwalk.
You said you're going up on Saturday. When I talked to you off the air yesterday, that your team is going to start up. What time do you think you'll be up there in town on Saturday?
I would imagine we're going to stop at Brooks Barbecue probably around 1:30 or so to have a kind of barbecue lunch, and then that's a really good. You guys might want to hit that place.
I've heard all about it.
I'll be there.
It's very, very good. And then we'll probably get to the hotel, I'll probably imagine around like 3:30 or 4. I don't know if we'll have time to really get the kids into town, but we plan on being at the museum around 10 o'clock on Sunday morning, and then they'll take a tour. Last time we went up, some of the kids kind of go through quickly. Myself, it takes kind of 2 days to kind of go through it properly.
Right.
Every single sign, every word, every sentence. But then afterwards, we'll get some lunch. They can kind of go around to some of the shops. I'm sure they'll spend some money. And then we'll play right around 5 o'clock.
How early does the team get to the ballpark for a game like this?
We'll probably get there around 3:30. I mean, they'll probably be walking around in their uniform most of the day. And there's 2 games going on prior to ours, so we have to kind of make sure that those games are done before we can get on. I think we can get on around 4 o'clock.
And then just for this team overall, what is expected throughout this spring season? What is expected from your baseball team this year?
To play good competitive baseball and just get better each game. Our coming into the season, the one area that we didn't really view as a strength, but hopefully it will become a strength as the season goes on, is our pitching. A number of our pitchers didn't pitch a lot during the summer months. It seemed like most of the pitchers that were in the newspapers and pitched a lot during the summer came from the Norwalk High side of town. So that kind of put us a little behind the curve there. But as they're getting more and more innings and getting more experience, I would definitely say that the second half should definitely be a lot stronger than our first half. We're just waiting to get the sticks to go and start putting some runs together. And we just have to gradually improve. I mean, the start of the season was rough because of the weather, but everybody was dealing with the same exact situation. We just have to put some good ball together. I would definitely say that, a run getting into the state tournament is definitely a primary goal. And then if we play really, really well and, beat some good teams, possibly get into the FC Icon is realistic.
Is there any concern with your team that maybe the venue might get to them on Sunday, that they won't be able to focus on just playing the Norwalk Bears, or the fact that you've already played them, that kind of helps you?
I think because we already played them, I don't think they're going to in any way be nervous because we played at Harbor Yard last year, which is a much bigger park. This is a small park. I would imagine that they'll probably really get excited about the possibility that they might be able to hit one out because right field's pretty short and left field is too. So they should be ready to go. They'll start doing things like they don't normally do. They'll start doing the rinse sprints in the outfield prior to the game. They'll do the extra stretches, the stuff that they see the pros do. I'm sure they'll do that. That's what I've seen over the last 3 times we went there. The kids kind of go to the next level whenever we play there.
And for you personally, what's going to be, in addition to coaching the team, what are you looking forward to doing in Cooperstown?
I'm taking 2 of my daughters up to the game, so I'm looking to kind of share some time with them and kind of point out some of the highlights. They came up my first time, so it should be fun to be with them. And then I might buy a couple souvenirs. I got to add to my autograph collection a little bit. Maybe I'll get a couple good deals.
Nice.
Nice. Very good. Coach, we are so excited to go up and watch you guys play, and I really hope we're able to connect with you, off the field, be able to chat a bit, and just I hope it's a great experience for all of us this weekend.
No problem. You guys have my phone number, so I'll be looking for you guys, and just give me a call.
Sounds great,
Looking
Coach.
forward to it.
Thanks so much. We appreciate it.
Thanks for letting me come on the air. Appreciate it, guys.
Anytime. We'll talk to you soon. Take care.
Take care, Coach.
All right, bye-bye. Bye-bye, Paul.
Head coach John Cross of the Brian McMahon Senators. You got his number, right?
Yes, I do.
All right, we'll connect with him over the weekend.
We will.
I've heard about that barbecue, by the way. It's
So
down in Oneonta, and I've never had it.
I've heard of it, too. And
I've heard it's phenomenal.
It might be worth the trip.
It's on Route 7, right alongside 88. I know where I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah. And, I did this trip with Coach Cross when I was working in Norwalk. And that was, 12 years ago.
Wow. Yeah, this is going to be their 4th trip up there.
So this would be 12 years. This would be 12 years. I did it 12 years ago with them.
4.
And, oh, man.
And as he said, four trips, and he tries to do it every 3 years.
And it's funny because I saw that also when I was walking around there, because I went around the same time that the Senators and the kids were there. And you could tell the coaching staff, where the coaching staff was, where the players were finished within a little while, and the coaching staff, myself, and a couple, we're just we were at the very beginning because we were reading everything.
Right. Sure, because there's so much to read, so much to learn, and not everything is on display, and that's the part I wish we could have worked out, and maybe we'll be able to do it in the future, because there is a way that you can see a little bit more, but you need some special permission. We weren't able to work it out this time, but I'm hoping we can do it on a future trip. But we will have somebody from the Hall of Fame on tomorrow.
Yeah, they're going to come on tomorrow. Craig Mutter is going to come on.
Yes.
Around, I think, 2:30. Don't quote me on that one, but he's going to come on. We're going to talk about the Hall of Fame. We're going to talk about Doubleday Field. And have any questions to ask someone that works for the Hall of Fame, send us a tweet and get it on there.
That's a great point. At Nutmeg Sports, at Hersam Radio, at PSFarb, at Double Five. You got 4 options on Twitter alone to get in touch with us, and we'll engage the whole thing. If you want to know some stuff Indeed, Craig will be on with us tomorrow, and I've read his stuff. He's written the blog for a while.
Sure.
So when you work, you can't just be, I mean, maybe you can, but in my mind, you can't just be a member of, an employee of the National Baseball Hall of Fame and Museum, which is the official name, and not know a thing or two about this sport. So most of these people are savants, basically.
Absolutely. They know their stuff. And if you want to, towards the end of the show, I'll give out Rob's cell phone number. Call him with questions. After midnight would probably be ideal for him. He enjoys late night phone calls, and
Only from you, Paul.
And away we go.
There is everyone else's time, and then there's Silver Farb time, and we all know that's a different world.
I don't even know the time. It's Silver Farb time. But it's a fun place to be.
And it's going to be so much fun. Oh, God, it's going to be Nirvana.
I might have to give you my wallet so that way I can't buy anything.
I might have to give you mine, come to think of it. The one other thing I would love to do, and we'll take a break and we'll get Brian Crowlin on in a moment. The one other thing I would love to do is get into the library, the research stuff. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's the kind of thing that you can only do with permission and reservation, and I've never done it because I don't even know what I would go. I want to go in there and browse, because that's just always kind of the way I've gone to a library. I can't. But God, my head's exploding. We need to take a break. We are back. More Nutmeg Sports for a Tuesday, 2:44. Brian Kroll coming up. We'll talk about the Masters right here on HANradio.com.
Spring is finally in the air, and our favorite season is upon us. The Dock Shop is all geared up with a great selection of fishing tackle, custom fishing rods, and all the latest accessories to replenish your tackle box. The Dock Shop has also just brought out the newest spring fashion apparel from Montauk Tackle, Altered Latitudes, Kaylee Smith, and Margaritaville Apparel. Need some new foul weather gear for those chilly spring mornings? The Dock Shop is loaded up with Grundens and Stormer in a variety of styles and sizes. Ladies, we've got you covered as well with spring apparel and the newest designs of coastal jewelry, bags, and accessories. Boater, beach bum, fisherman, or simply love the New England coast, this is a unique place to shop. The Dock Shop, 51 Tokenique Road, Darien, Connecticut. Visit us at dockshop.com.
Did you know that taking dance lessons is a great date night idea? Arthur Murray Grand Ballroom of Greenwich is a fabulous place to learn to dance and meet new people. Located at 6 Lewis Street, our studio is staffed with professional instructors ready to teach you salsa, waltz, rumba, hustle, tango. There's a dance for every season. And we are rated #1 on the Knot.com. We are the wedding dance specialists. Take advantage of our new student offer, only $49. Call 203-769-1800. Visit us online at arthurmurraygreenwich.com.
This year, 3,000 Connecticut women will be diagnosed with breast cancer. Hersam Acorn is a proud sponsor of the Komen Connecticut Race for the Cure. Help make an impact in the local fight against breast cancer by joining us on May 9th in Westport at Sherwood Island. With your help, Komen Connecticut invests in local breast cancer programs, helping local women beat breast cancer. Visit KomenCT.org to register, volunteer, or donate today. We race for Connecticut. Why will you race?
Does advertising on HANradio.com work? Just ask Coastal Orthopedics. They ran spots with us, and within 24 hours they had 21 walk-ins and 8 calls to their new immediate care center. To advertise on HANradio.com, call 203-417-5199 and ask for Marianne Hersam.
You're listening to Hersam Acorn Radio.
Back with you on Nutmeg Sports on a Tuesday afternoon. I don't know why I keep wanting to say Monday, and I really don't want it to be Monday. With Paul Silverfarb, I'm Rob Adams. Along HANradio.com and on the Hersam Acorn Network, streaming live. So good to be here. And, boy, we've already had a couple of good guests today.
Yes, we have. We had two good Johns.
Two good Johns.
Marinelli and Cross.
Marinelli and Cross, you're right. I am excited for Cooperstown, and it's just going to grow.
Really?
I'm going to be like, a
I can't tell.
Kid by Saturday. And a baseball game to call on Friday night.
Right.
The Battle of Fairfield.
Battle of Fairfield.
Looks like Cato and I on that one on Friday, so I don't think, are you going to make it out for that one? No, you're probably going up to Kingston.
I'm going up to Kingston.
That's right. Okay. All right, very good. But we'll get Cato and I to call that on Friday. Should be a good time there. And speaking of good times, it's always a good time when I'm able to connect with the guy who's on the phone right now. I've known him for a long time. He has been the host of a program called The Clubhouse that is run at times on WFAS radio and on WGCH radio as well, where I've gotten to know him over the years. He's worked for, among many places, CBS Sports, the CBS Sports Network, NBC, the Golf Channel, you name it. He's also the head golf pro over at Glen Arbor in Bedford, and he's my friend Brian Kroll. BC, how you doing?
Rob, it's great to be on this show. It is a family show, right? I heard I was following two Johns. I got a little nervous.
Yes.
I mean, what the heck is going on here?
I was a little concerned when Paul said that as well, but I think we have covered it. It was John Marinelli, the football coach in Greenwich, and John Cross, the baseball coach in McMahon. So we're safe and you're safe.
Excellent. Well, I feel better.
Hey, first...
this is great, man. I'll tell you what. I love working with... you, Rob, you seem to make it fun all the time, and we both love sports. We both love golf. We both love this time of year when so many sports are starting to come to life, and this is a great time. It is.
It is a great time of year, and I'll see you next week as we dive into year number 13. Is that possible? The clubhouse goes to it becomes a teenager?
It's incredible. I really can't believe it.
And we
should have a bar mitzvah for it.
We'll bring you the clubhouse here on HAN as well as, of course, it'll be on terrestrial radio with our friends down in Greenwich. But I'm excited to get it back on the air, and I guess that means I have to see Jeffers again, but that's okay.
Unfortunate, but we got to live with that.
Our buddy Mark Jeffers, who is he's really the second wheel. I just keep things kind of occupied and keep you on the air. But how's everything been? How's your winter been?
It's been long. I mean, like everybody up in this neck of the woods, at least everybody who enjoys the game of golf, it's been a long winter. The snow just didn't want to leave for the longest time. But finally, I'm seeing flag sticks in putting greens, and people are starting to get the golf bug, especially after the Masters, which was a tremendous experience. We're all up and running here at Glen Arbor Golf Club, so golf is in the air and underway.
And as you said, you got to see the Masters. You were in Augusta. Let's take your thoughts on it. I mean, I don't know what more we can all say other than Jordan Spieth absolutely dominated.
He is such a worthy champion, not only with his golf game, but with his demeanor. How can you not love this kid? He's got it all. He's got maturity and poise. He's excellent with the media, represents himself well. He's just like a clean, wholesome kid who is embarking on such an exciting career. And we saw signs of this years ago with his great play at Texas and in the U.S. Amateur and the Walker Cup. And he's taken it right on into the professional game. And now he's wearing a green jacket. So it's just exciting to see a real good, solid kid. I mean, here's somebody who I think is a perfect role model for young golfers out there, and I just feel really good about where the game is now.
And you said you were there. You were there to see this whole thing. I mean, we all know. I mean, he had he was 18 under par. He tied for the most birdies in the tournament. Tied for the lowest score after 72 holes. How dominating was he in person to watch?
It was everything you would imagine. Just total control of his golf game. Remember on Saturday's round, he double bogeyed 17 and still shot a 200 par 70 and held the lead. So every time there was a little hiccup, he rebounded very well. He kept his composure, and I think that's probably a result of being in that situation last year where he had the lead and then lost it on 8 and 9 in the final round and ended up finishing second to Bubba Watson. But he learned a lot from that loss last year, and he was just ready to rebound and just kept his focus. It was exciting, and he was one of a number of storylines this week. As Rob knows, I could ramble on here for a few hours, so just step on me when you have to. But in addition to Jordan, we saw Tiger Woods reemerge in the world of golf. Here's a guy who shoots 82 less than 2 months ago, had the chipping and pitching yips. Looked like he couldn't beat the club champ at Glen Arbor, and now all of a sudden he's back. He's shooting great scores. He's in a better place, and so I think it's kind of fun to see that Tiger has not given up on his hope of matching and certainly beating the major championship record of Jack Nicklaus. There's just two of so many storylines this week at Augusta.
And another one would be Phil Mickelson, who played really well, considering, he's not a young man anymore, and there he is, tied for second.
Yeah, I think with Tiger and with Phil, you see this experience come out at Augusta National. And if you've ever been down to the Masters, it is such a special place, and it just brings a different level of emotion. And I know the past champions like Tiger and Phil certainly get a rush of good feelings, good experiences, and a lot of them can play off of those and just bring their game to a different level when it counts. In fact, last year we saw Fred Couples, Bernard Langer. These are guys that are over 50 that were still in the hunt last year just because I think they ride those good feelings and memories, and it seems to bring them to the top. Mickelson did an incredible job this week, and I think in his own words, if he could have more birdies early on Sunday, he could have caused a little more of perhaps a little more pressure to Spieth. But anyway, he show as it was.
No, he played well. Paul, go ahead.
The one of the questions I had was, if you look at some of the scores for this thing, there are a lot of under pars in a big way. You could probably go down to, I would say, somewhere within 25, 25, 26 before you started getting those low under pars. How did the course play?
Well, we all thought it was going to be more of a challenge. It's funny, it was kind of wet when we got in there, and there was some rain during the evenings last week, and the course definitely played softer. And we thought, well, here we go. There's going to be an advantage for the long hitters. But we did an interview early in the week with Zach Johnson, who said, I don't really buy into that whole big hitter thing because I can actually stop a 4-iron on these greens when it's this soft. And I think that reminded me that the softer conditions sometimes can be an advantage for everybody, short hitters included. And I do think you're right. There were more birdie opportunities and eagle opportunities this week. Remember, Dustin Johnson had 3 eagles in a single round,
right,
and birdied the other par 5. So you're talking about a guy who went 7 under on 4 holes. So a lot of scoring opportunities, and I think all told, Augusta National feels pretty good that the all-time scoring record was just matched. It wasn't beaten. Of course, Tiger Woods had that 18 under total when he won, and Jordan matched that. But nevertheless, I think next year we might see firmer conditions and a little less offense, so to speak.
Were you able to play the course this year?
Just mentally. You know what? I bring my clubs down every year like an ignorant sap, just hoping that somehow I will get this opportunity to play it. It hasn't happened yet, but I always dream, I always hope. That's on the bucket list for sure.
Oh, absolutely, without a doubt. I can't even blame you for that.
But when you walk it, again, the television cameras don't quite do it justice. The hills, the elevation, it's just staggering. And for your listeners right now, if you haven't had the opportunity to attend, I would, number one, go right to Masters.com, try and get in the lottery for tickets, or try and twist the arm of an influential friend like Rob Adams to somehow get you a ticket. But you have to go to this thing. It is incredible. Just when you walk through the gates, you're just in awe of the conditions, the turf. It's magical.
And among Brian's varied interests, and he has plenty of them, and you can read them on BrianKrollGolf.com. First of all, I knew you were a musician. I knew you played, some sax, and you've played in a band for a while. But one thing that caught my eye here in your bio, Brian, is supporting the efforts of the Stuart A. Kroll Foundation. I wondered if you could spend a minute on that for me.
Well, I would love to. my dad, who was my total idol and total mentor, he's just the best human I have ever known, passed away on February 3rd of last year. And in his memory, we've set up a foundation, and we're going to have a golf outing later this year that I'll certainly tell you guys about. So we're trying to raise funds to help support college education of people in need, some of the graduates of local high schools that need a little extra help. So all the proceeds from the Stuart A. Kroll Foundation go to helping with education, and one other effort, which is the Backpack Snack Attack, and that's a program where kids who aren't able to have good meals are getting fed, believe it or not, better in school than they are at home. So over the weekend, these youngsters don't get a chance to eat very well. So through the church programs, they set up a backpack filled with good, solid, nutritious foods that will help these kids to eat well on Saturday and Sunday until they get back into school. And it's expanding into a summer program as well. So just trying to give back as much as we can, and doing it all in the memory of my dad, who I know is smiling on that whole operation. He would love giving back to the community, that's for sure.
And hopefully, if everyone smiles, fate smiles, maybe we can set some microphones up and do a show from that golf tournament.
That sounds like a great one. It's going to be July 20th, a little further upstate, but you'll hear more about that as we get closer to it.
Very cool. We can do that. And have we figured out a guest list for a week from tomorrow?
Oh, this is going to be exciting. I'm not going to release all these names right now because, as you know, in the world of media, they're strictly scheduled to appear. But we're going to have some real exciting guests this year on the clubhouse, and we're thrilled to have you back helping us, and we're also thrilled to have this available on hand radio. I mean, it's a treat to be with you guys here as well.
Well, and of course, you and Mark are always welcome here on the air with us. We're thrilled to be a part of that with you, and I got to drag Paul out to Grand Prix and wherever else we set up the show.
Looking forward to it.
We'll drag.
Yeah, Paul, you've got to join the team here. I'm afraid what it might do to you, but I think it's worth a shot.
But the post-show gatherings are always worth it, Brian.
I would do it just for that. I mean, don't tell everybody, but that's so much fun just talking sports with you guys and having some fun. That's what it's all about. I mean, I've said this over and over again. I do the same thing at Glen Arbor Golf Club, but golf and sports, it's about entertainment. If we aren't having fun doing this, something's wrong. So I think I give you guys a lot of credit with your show and how you're making it fun and keeping people excited about sports. And I mean, it's all about entertainment. For all the people out there that are fighting with real challenges, we're just trying to keep some balance and let people have some fun.
That's exactly what we're trying to do, too.
You betcha.
BC, I'll see you in a week.
Guys, it was a pleasure on the show, and keep up the great work, and we will see you soon.
Sounds good. Take care. My best to your family. Talk to you soon.
Take care.
Same here. Okay, thanks, guys.
All right, Brian. Brian Kroll, the great Brian Kroll, coming to us from CBS, among other outlets, and spends some time down at Augusta National with the Masters. And local guy, of course, is the head golf pro over at Glen Arbor Country Club in Bedford, New York, which is a beautiful facility. We actually took the clubhouse there a few years ago and did a show from the patio right outside of basically Brian's office. And I actually had Sean with me that day. We were looking right down on the green, and just a beautiful, beautiful place.
Very nice.
Beautiful. Yeah, it's a great place. And why I have not played golf there yet is beyond me. Oh, I know, because I stink. That's right.
Oh, you're better than me.
Well, you and I still have a golf date we have to discuss off the air.
Yes, we do.
I haven't forgotten.
No.
I'm going to sneak in this last quick break. Paul and I will come back and say goodbye as we're into a little bit of overtime. So a quick break, come back, wrap it up as we continue on Nutmeg Sports on HANradio.com.
Spring is finally in the air, and our favorite season is upon us. The Dock Shop is all geared up with a great selection of fishing tackle, custom fishing rods, and all the latest accessories to replenish your tackle box. The Dock Shop has also just brought out the newest spring fashion apparel from Montauk Tackle, Altered Latitudes, Kaylee Smith, and Margaritaville Apparel. Need some new foul weather gear for those chilly spring mornings? The Dock Shop is loaded up with Grundens and Stormer in a variety of styles and sizes. Ladies, we've got you covered as well with spring apparel and the newest designs of coastal jewelry, bags, and accessories. Boater, beach bum, fisherman, or simply love the New England coast, this is a unique place to shop. The Dock Shop, 51 Tokenique Road, Darien, Connecticut. Visit us at dockshop.com.
At our new Ram Truck Center, browse our websites, scapchryslerjeep.com or scapdodge.net to find the new Jeep, Chrysler, Dodge car, minivan, or Ram truck you've been looking for. Just 2 miles from both I-95 or the Merritt Parkway exit 44. Save thousands at the award season event, now through April 30th. Just 2 miles from. Want a new experience in car buying? Scap Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram with one of the largest inventories of new 2- and 4-door Wranglers. We are Connecticut's Wrangler headquarters. Come visit our new Ram Truck Center.
Picturesque downtown Ridgefield at 13 Governor Street. Colby's is the area's premier retailer for blinds, shades, shutters, and draperies, and is one of the select few Hunter Douglas Gallery dealers. A family-owned and operated company, Colby's experienced staff will work with you in choosing the best treatments for your home or office and offer free measuring and expert installation. Colby's also carries an extensive line of decorative fabrics including Schumacher, Durley, Tebow, and more. Or browse over 400 books in our wallpaper library from famous designers such as Stroheim, Schumacher, Ralph Lauren, Tebow, and York. Take advantage of our Fashion in Motion savings event with savings and rebates on Hunter Douglas shades with Power Rise technology. Colby's of Ridgefield. We are committed to your complete satisfaction. 203-438-8531.
It's Lots of Characters, specializing in children's birthday parties with your child's favorite characters. When you want to party hardy, when you need to celebrate, call us, we won't be late. We help create lasting memories for you and your child on their special day. Call us at 203-590-1791 or visit our website at lotsofcharacters.org for more information and to see our party packages. Lots of Characters, 203-590-1791 or online at lotsofcharacters.org.
Hersam Acorn and HANradio.com.
All right, Paul. Here we go.
All right.
Come on. All right.
Couldn't do it yesterday. Wanted to, but I couldn't. This day in history yesterday, the Whalers played their final home game ever at the Hartford Civic Center.
That is correct.
They beat Tampa Bay 2-1 with who scored the last goal?
Marty Hersam.
Close.
John Kovac.
Closer. Kevin Dineen.
I knew it.
And the last told you it's, and the last ever draft pick that the Whalers ever got was
Gordie Howe.
Jean Sebastian Giguère.
It was J.S. Giguère.
Because they didn't have one in 96. They had one in 95.
Dang.
Yep. And he was the last ever Whaler left in the NHL before he retired a couple years ago, or last year.
There you go.
Big day in history for state of Connecticut yesterday.
The Whalers have almost hit Brooklyn Dodger status, if that's possible. Not that extreme. But
not that extreme, but
no,
around
not
here.
That extreme, but
around here, sure.
I mean, in the state of Connecticut, it is still a lot of long. There are still a lot of long faces over the fact that the Whalers are gone.
Yeah, you're looking at one.
I know. And you're a Ranger fan, so am I.
Yeah. That's right. I forgot I got to stop shaving tomorrow.
Oh, Lord. Here
you
we
too.
Go. No.
Congratulations.
Nope. Will not happen.
Should.
Will not. When I hit Cooperstown, I will be clean shaven.
I have a nice little 5 o'clock shadow going.
If I were to stop Thursday, by Saturday, it will not be a nice little 5 o'clock shadow.
Nice.
Not at all. Great show today.
Great show.
Really great show. As I said at the top of the show, it would be a good one. John Marinelli, John Cross, Brian Kroll, our thanks to each of those gentlemen for coming on today as we get set, of course, for the 2015 FCAC Cooperstown Classic on HAN Radio and the Hersam Acorn Network, presented by Tucci Lumber. Hoping to have Pete Tucci on tomorrow, in fact. Hoping.
I'm hoping too.
We'll have
Craig Mutter.
Right, Craig Mutter from the Hall of Fame on tomorrow as well. So, and some other stuff down the road that you and I are batting around.
You betcha.
All right. Talk to you later.
Sounds good.
That'll do it for Nutmeg Sports. Our thanks to Marty, Tracy, John Kovach back behind us as well. Thanks to all the guests for coming on. Coffee break gets your day started tomorrow at 11. Baseball on Friday at 6 for Paul Silverfarb. I'm Rob Adams. Thanks for listening to Nutmeg Sports on HANradio.com and the Hersam Acorn Network. So long, everyone.
Yabba dabba 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 doo.
Hersam, Acorn, and HANradio.com. The leader in local news, sports, arts, and entertainment in southwestern Connecticut.